everyone, this is In-Game Art, who did the boxing or breakdown of the demo. This is Kano-kun, the World Classic Collection for the PlayStation 4. Now this is an Asia import. To start things right off, there was a 240 megabyte update. Now this update said to just fix defects, bugs, fixes. I'm just assuming it's just bug fixes. I didn't experience any problems in my playtime with this game. Though, quickly to bear in mind, this is an Asia import, but it does have fully English support. But it's mostly 50%, I would say, English support. All menu navigations as well as certain games have English support, the US release games. But the Japanese games that are Japanese localization only, that got released only in Japan, are still only in Japanese. So that's kind of a pity because you were really hoping for all to be English. But don't worry, the main ones that you are aware of, like River City, Double Dragon, and so forth, and Dodgeball, are fully in English. But as I said, the game does also support other languages, but those languages do not transfer over to the game. It's just for menu navigation that the language changing will support. The games will still be the original languages that when they first release. As I said, this game is a bundle collection thing, so there's 18 games altogether on the collection, which is very nice. A lot of these games haven't seen really night of day in a long time, and a lot of people are probably not even aware of them. And it's interesting to think that like Double Dragon and so forth never got a release physically in Japan, and this is the first time ever for Japanese audience, which is pretty shocking if you think about it. But it also comes with a quality upgrade, as well as you can play the original on specific games as well, so that's a huge bonus there. You can do many alterations to the settings depending on the way you want to play it. Now bear in mind, the game does still have the circle button as your main, as well as X button as your select, which is kind of a topsy-turvy because sometimes in the navigation menu, your X button is to select the game, where your circle button is to back out. So you're gonna have to like balance between them both, between the games you're playing as well as the navigation menu, so bear that in mind. As well as I was saying about the collection of the games, with 18 games altogether, and I said like I think about 8 of them are English, while the rest are all in Japanese. Now I've played quite a few of these Japanese ones, and I didn't have too many issues with them. I just kind of just played it. You didn't really need to learn how to the language to understand what was going on, and the gameplay functions worked and did a pretty good job. I had no complaints on that front. Now bear in mind also that your start and select are generally always triangle is your start button, as well as your X button is always your X button. Square button is always your select. So just bear in mind when you're trying to navigate the menu, because some games require you to hit the select button to navigate the menus, and you got to push the triangle button to start the game up. I know it's very kind of just all over the place, but that's how it's set up, and I have to warn you about that. As I said, it's a nice little collection. You don't see a lot of these collections. These kinds of collections. We always get those Mega Man collections, the Sega Sonic collections, and so like other games like the Atari collections. But you don't see a lot of these kinds of collections that have like the old Double Dragon and so forth. Heck, even Nintendo doesn't even do bundle collections hardly with all their games. Usually you have to get like a Kirby and Mario. They don't just group it all together. So, like I said, it's an interesting collection to add to your shelf, but the overall experience is not that great if you've never played these kinds of games or have any knowledge of the games. But they're still a fun collection to have to separate your collection compared to other people's game collections. It's a joyful experience in that front. And I did have fun with it, even though I didn't understand some of the games, and some of the games are styles have been ported, like the game you're seeing right now is exactly a game like River City. So it's pretty interesting to play the Japanese version as well as play the American version. So you get to see like the swap between them both, where the colors are changed, the characters are changed, some of the menus may have been altered and the English changed a little bit. It's very, very interesting to see the differences, as well as playing some of the sports games were easy to pick up and play with. Though a little on the easy side, I did find myself just like scoring a whole lot during the hockey games and soccer games, but it's for the time, and for the most part it's really fun. But the OST was also quite surprising. Some of the Japanese games had some really good OSTs on them, the original soundtrack, and I just really enjoyed it. I was just sitting there listening to music more than playing the game. But for the most part, it's a good collection if you try to get around to add it. I mean, there's nothing more to this collection. Like I said, you're not going to get too much that you've already not know of. So you might be more interested to play the Japanese games, but like I said, if you don't have Double Dragons and all the other ones like River City, the original cartridges and so forth, and you just want it all on disc and have it in a collection, this is for you. This is a great little setup for you. As well as it comes with the 4-player multiplayer, as well as 2-player multiplayer, depending on the game, as well as it has online support, which is quite shocking for an NES games like these, but it's really cool. But you do need PlayStation Plus subscription to play online, so bear that in mind. For the most part, it is an interesting collection. It's up to you whether you feel that you want this kind of collection. For me, it's just an interesting thing extra to add to my shelf, and it adds a little bit of uniqueness and variety to the collection, as well as it got some good games on it. I'm definitely going to come back occasionally and try to check it out occasionally here and there. It might be worth your time as well. So thank you all for watching. I will leave links down in the description if you're interested to copy. As I said, it is an Asian import and most likely will not get a physical release here in the US due to the fact of all the Japanese games on there. And I doubt that there's ever going to be a translation to those games. Now, there are ROM hacks out there that has translated some of these Japanese games. So if you're interested in those, try to look for the ROMs. You might be interested in that. So thank you all for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!